summer. This is an area that the bucks move into only during the rut because there's never hardly any rubs in this marsh, but I have found like little rut beds where there's like one little bed and it's just tore up like 4 or 5 rubs right around this one little buck bed. I think the bucks are only in here during like the pre-rut and maybe like the first couple days of November, or the first like week of November, because the other marsh over there where I have been hunting a little bit more and have seen bucks over there, I was gonna hunt that this morning, but I figured I might as well come in here and hunt my pre-hung stand. And that area is always tore up with rubs. We found tons and tons of sheds over there. Those bucks are over there all fall and all winter. But this area has lots and lots of does, so I'm hoping maybe a big buck is in here with a big doe that's in estrus or in heat right now. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, pretty crazy morning, I guess. I just bumped into the guy that hunts on the other side of the property, and he shot that 3-year-old 10-point that I had lots of pictures of. Took a picture in the back of his truck, talked to them for a little bit. Him and his son were here. They hunt mainly on the other side. We've been hunting more on this side, but that's the same buck I saw the other morning out in that grassy field, just kind of over this way. Right now I'm just on the main farm trail that runs through the whole property. And another crazy thing, my dad said he just shot a really nice one just right up this way, about 5 minutes on the trail here. I'll be up to him. We'll get a lot of video, hopefully he got it. He said it's about 40 yards, and he said he only saw that one buck this morning. He saw it was rubbing a tree, and you'll hear the whole story from him. So I'm kind of heading up to him right now, trying to be quiet.
He said it might have gone down, but it's so thick he couldn't really tell. All right, so we just found it. We were kind of cautious because we didn't know. Well, I'll have my dad tell the story here in a little bit once we get the buck drag out. But here he is. Just a giant 8-pointer.
9-pointer. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This buck, I actually found his shed just on the other side of this bedding area this spring.
You can hear Bernie coming by too.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that thing. This buck has got to be at least 5 or 6 because I found his shed last year, this side, and he hardly grew at all. Maybe just a little bit more mass. But this buck is super elusive too. I have trail cameras all around this marsh, and I think I got like 1 picture of him the whole year so far. And he's been in here. The first time I got a picture of him would have been the 1st of September when he was still in a little bit of velvet. That's the only pictures I have of him that I know about. Look at the body on that thing.
Yeah, it's just huge. Well,
he's a little bloated too, but
it's gonna suck too.
That is a beast.
It's a beast.
Awesome.
He's heavy, Jason.
I bet he is.
I'm glad you're gonna help drag him. If I had to do it, gut would be right here.
Yeah.
But the reason we,
you know, this is probably his bed right here, right by this big willow, because you can see it's a little bit. It's all surrounded by water, and that's like the only dry area right there. You said he came from this direction, right?
Well, I saw him in the willow in the cattails there about 40 yards. And he was looking right at. I thought Jason was coming over this way, and that's what I thought happened. Here, I'll get on this side so you can video it better. Okay, I was sitting up in a tree stand there. I thought Jason was going to come over by me, and I heard some crash, and I thought he was just joking on me. And I'm looking back in here, and I can't see nothing. And I look closer, and I seen that big boy just looking at me right in the cattails. I'm like, oh my God, that's a big buck. And I slowly reach for the crossbow, and he starts to take off, and I get a nice broadside shot. I put it on him, and
did he stop after he took off? What do you do, like 1 or 2 bounds and then look back?
I shot. He was looking at me in the cattails, and then he's like, this ain't right. So then he went that way, and he got into a little bit of an open spot, and then I could shoot at him, so I shot at him.
Really? So he just did kind of like a nervous 1 or 2 jumps, and then looked at you again?
He did nervous 1 or 2 jumps. He walked that way a little bit more.
Because he couldn't have smelt you because the wind was blowing the other way.
The wind was blowing that way. So he couldn't smell me, but he knew there was something weird.
You know, this buck must not leave a lot of sign because, you know, I've always thought there's a bunch of old historical rubs around here, but nothing fresh. And
well, there was a deer rubbing right around in here for about.
Oh yeah, right here's the rub.
10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that's a fresh rub.
Yeah, because you saw 2 other nice shooters, including that one. That's what made us so nervous.
I know, like an hour later, and Jason was just coming over to my stand, and all of a sudden, I told him to stop because as soon as the leaves were crunching, I seen a buck get up right around here, and next thing I know, he starts scraping, and then another buck shows up. I'm thinking, I must have not hit him that good.
And those 2 other bucks, you said they were kind of like right next to each other sparring or something for a little?
They were like right here.
They were right here next to this other one that was dead already.
Yeah.
This one had been dead for a half hour or so, right?
Probably.
Because you said you heard him making some kicking noises after.
I heard him make
You
kicking
thought he
noises.
went down, but.
I thought he went down. He made a, and I really thought he was dead. But then all of a sudden, what's the chances of seeing 3 shooter bucks in a 10-yard circle?
Yeah, pretty freaking low.
3 shooter bucks.
You know what that means, though? That means this is a really good area right here. I always thought they were bedding further in, but this is really close to the main access trail.
Yeah.
And your stand is literally right on the edge of the hardwoods over there.
And look for my arrow, but the other buck had it out like this, and Jason saw him for a little bit, but I kind of screwed it up on him. And
that was a little smaller one.
A little smaller.
And you said you saw a really big 8-pointer probably with big white tines. I know which one you're talking about.
8 or 10, and he was rubbing like right here.
Yeah,
I think he was rubbing on that tree.
It's got to be that tree.
I think it was.
That's really fresh.
Thicker bush, but when you're standing in that tree, it's so hard to tell. Might even go right back in here.
That's got to be his bed though. But he was bedded here this morning, right? And you said he came out.
Yeah, I think he was bedded there, and I heard him going through the stuff, and all of a sudden he was in the middle of the cattails.
You somehow got in. He was either bedded here at dark or he came in and bedded. And, and then he came out at 9 o'clock, you said?
Hey, he came, no, 11. I shot him at 11.
Really?
9 o'clock is when I saw the other buck. I saw 4 bucks in this area.
Well, that one might have circled around and been one of the ones.
It could have been.
That's just proof. We never hunt the 10 to 2, the mature buck supposed movement time, but this is a mature buck. He's at least, I think I may have even found his sheds, his match set 3 years ago in 2017. And if that's true, that means he's a 6-year-old, but I know for sure, 100% for sure, he's a 5-year-old because he was a 4-year-old last year. So he's either a 5 or 6-year-old mature buck, came out of his bed at 11 o'clock and you were 100 yards from his bed, you shot him, he ran right back to his bed and died.
Yeah.
Right underneath this big tree, this big willow.
There'll be another buck bedded there someday.
Yeah, but I can't believe there's no, other than that one rub today, there's no other.
That was just made.
I know, that was just made. There's no other fresh rubs. So either they just moved in here or this buck is not leaving much sign at all. Because like I said, September 1st, just deeper in this marsh, I have a camera on video mode and he walked through and he had a little bit of velvet on. And I have a few sporadic pictures of him throughout the fall, but not too much. And like I said, the other guy that hunts the other side of the property, he killed a 10-pointer today, but that one is a 3-year-old. And I had tons and tons of daylight pictures. And I even saw that buck, it would have been like a week ago, and almost got him. But this buck is super elusive, and I can't believe we've never really got many pictures. All the years that this buck's been living here, we hardly ever got any pictures of him.
Shooting a really nice bed right here. There's a bed right there. That's a bed.
Yeah, that's probably
a bed over there. He could have been right here, because basically,
yeah, there's deer hair right there.
I think he got up right from here, and you can see where the deer stand is. He walked straight that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can zoom in. It's that
way.
box blind up there.
Yeah.
On that big willow on the edge of the hardwoods.
And he walked straight that way. And then he got a little bit past that tree, and that's when I noticed him, that little tree there.
Yeah.
And then he saw me, and he turned and went that way, and that's when I got a chance to shoot at him.
We're not exactly sure if that buck was bedded there before it came to him, but my dad said, we forgot to mention in the video, he was actually grunting on and off throughout the morning, and then he heard some ch-ch-ch through the cattails and brush, and all of a sudden there the buck was. So my guess is the buck was just cruising around midday, 11 o'clock-ish, 10:30, whenever it was when he shot him, and grunting is what kind of called and coaxed him in. Crazy enough is we actually have a few trail camera pictures of the buck closer to where I was actually hunting, literally just a little before it was shot. This is at 7:30. I did hear a few grunts that morning, but I never saw any bucks. I could hear a few grunts in the brush. There must have been a buck chasing does around and stuff. It might have been that buck. It's kind of a blurry picture. But these other pictures are a lot clearer, and it's definitely the buck. This is absolutely nuts. This is literally 45 to 50 minutes before the buck was shot. This is probably 200 to 300 yards from where my dad was sitting. And probably closer to me, 150, 200 yards from me. This is a little grassy opening in the brush. I'm thinking about putting a food plot here next year. This buck was definitely cruising around mid-morning. And I don't know if he came back to bed, but I'm thinking my dad actually probably called him in with the grunt call. So here he is, 2018. I believe he's a 2.5-year-old here. This is the first year we had pictures of him that I can recognize of. And then here's the next year, which was last year. Here he is, I believe a 3.5-year-old. I ended up finding one of his sheds off of this rack. It would have been this past spring now. He kind of just showed up in December and stuck around most of the winter. Here he is. This is the first time I had pictures of him this year. This is the 1st of September. He was still in velvet right here, as you can tell. Anyways, I think he's kind of a weird buck. I don't know if he was spending a lot of time somewhere else and kind of just randomly showing up on the property, or if he was a super camera shy buck and just eluded the camera somehow. Because this year I have more cameras than I've ever had, and I still don't have a lot of pictures of him. I have a few pictures here and there, but nothing
really consistent, unlike other bucks on the property. So either he was spending his time somewhere else a lot, or he's a super camera shy, smart, wise buck. I don't know, but it's just kind of cool. You don't really get to hunt a buck for 3 years like that. And yeah, that's his progression.